Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day today, and as you can see from the title of the video, I am going to be reviewing the new Dragun Beauty face palette. I haven't opened it yet, so I guess it's going to be like a first impressions review tutorial type of video, so let's just get started. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead and open the box and let's see what's in here. There's hair in here. This is what it looks like on the inside. Okay, let's see what is this a wig? Okay, so here is the palette. And it is going to be available on October 7th, and it retails for $45. I think that's a little bit pricey for a face palette, but I mean, you are getting like a highlighter, contour, and a blush. So I guess let's just wait. Let me wait on giving my opinion about the price until I actually try it out, because if it's like a really great quality, then $45 is not so bad, because I know I have like other face palettes, Cover FX face palette, Pure Cosmetics, and that's around the same price. So we will judge the price later. And this is, I don't know what this is. Oh, this is just like a what?
Hello. My name is Nikita Dragun, mother of dragons. Hi. Hello.
Alright, so let me go ahead and just start using the palette. Let me take it out of here. It does say that it's cruelty free and vegan, and then on the back of this clear box it has all of the ingredients. It's definitely like totally different, something that I've never seen done before. The her face on here is kind of like 3D. It's like a little bubble. I don't know if you guys can see how it's like lifted up a little bit, and it is in the shape of like an egg, which is kind of cool because of her first launch. She had like the egg that had the products inside of it. So yeah, I don't know, I don't mind the packaging. Like, I mean, it's definitely something different, and it's very her, like 100%. It's very like Nikita Dragun, and it's like in line with the theme of her makeup line. I don't see why she would have done, you know, something like Lady Gaga where it was like all black and sleek, because Dragun Beauty, that's not like what she's known for, and that's not what she's done so far. Like, so for me, this makes sense. There is a mirror on the inside of it. It's also shaped like a little egg, and it does have a little thing that protects the mirror. Alright, so I'm gonna start off with the lightest shade, and I always like to use a little bit of an angled brush like this one to contour. This is what I always use. So I'm just gonna dip in here really quickly. I'm gonna tap off. It's not very powdery, like it, yeah, not a lot of powder is coming out of my brush. So let me turn it to the other side and use the mirror. Okay, so far it's really subtle, so I'm gonna apply a little bit more. Look at the paintings, I'll be your guide. Okay, let me do the other side. I don't want to apply too much and make it cakey. Don't stop looking in my eyes. Okay, I already went in 3 times with this color, so I think this is as good as we're gonna get. It is a really pretty, like super subtle contour, so I do like it. And so far it's blending out really nicely. I don't see any patchiness like at all. So far so good. Let me do my forehead with this color as well, and then I will try to deepen everything up with a darker color. I am a little bit scared though, because it does look really dark. And it is described as a neutral shade, and I can definitely see that. Like, it's not too warm and it's not too cool, so it's not pulling red, it's not pulling gray, it's just right there. So I do like it. So I'm gonna add this to the jawline, even though it's a little bit too light for the jawline. Yeah, I'm not seeing this really show up along my jawline. All right, so I guess I'm gonna try to go into Search now, which is the darker shade. I'm really scared to go in with this one, so I am going to like barely tap my brush in there. I'm literally just gonna like boop, tap off. I'm so nervous. I hope I don't mess it up. So okay, all right, let me, oh, I'm scared. Okay, let's just do it. It's definitely darker. Yeah, this is definitely more on the cooler side, I feel like. Okay, but it blends out to a nice color. It's actually not too dark at all. All right, so I'm gonna leave it like this. I am really happy. Like, I'm impressed. Honestly, I have had face palettes that were not good at all, and the powder was really patchy, and I've thrown them away because they were just horrible. But I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass. Honestly, like, this is nice. I'm not having any issues with this so far, and I like how this shade is cool tone. It's perfect for sculpting, chiseling out the cheekbones. But anyway, let me do the other side. All right, so there we go. I really like this, like, a lot actually. I am going to take the dark contour again, and I'm going to apply it to my jawline. Okay, so now I can see that my jawline is being contoured. It looks like a shadow. Lighter shade is definitely more of like a light contour shade, 100%, and Search, the darker one, is definitely to add that dimension, that like sculpting, excuse me, that chiseling, you know, whatever you want to chisel, your jawline, your cheekbones. That's what I recommend the dark shade for. So for my nose, I think I'm going to start off with the lighter one, because I'm a little bit scared to go in with the darker one. So I'm going to do the lighter one first. Okay, I can see it, but it's definitely just like very subtle. I'm gonna tap a little bit in there. Just, oh, I feel like I'm gonna mess things up, but okay, let's see. I barely touched it. I'm gonna just come in with a little more. But I prefer like a little bit of a darker color on my nose, just because I feel like that's what gives me the best result to actually thin out my nose. So I think I like the darker shade for contouring the nose better than the lighter shade. Yeah, so this is what the darker shade looks like on the nose, and you guys saw the lighter one really wasn't doing much. I mean, it definitely made a difference, but it wasn't doing much for my nose. But now I feel like this is definitely making it look smaller. Yeah, it's blending out so nicely. Like, I have no complaints so far. So far, there's no patchiness. It's pigmented. It looks good. I'm not having any issues with it. So yeah, I don't have anything negative to say. Like, it looks really good actually. All right, so I'm going to, okay, so the blushes are T-Girl or BB Girl. So T-Girl is the orangey one, and this one has shimmer in it. And the Baby Girl, the Baby Girl, which is this one, is completely matte. Personally, for me, I do not like shimmer in my blushes, because I feel like my pores are on the bigger side, so I like to stay with a matte blush. So I am going to use this one, but I do like how they put in both options, because not everyone has big pores like me, you know, so it's good. So I'm just going to go in with my little blush brush and I'm just going to lightly tap. And as you guys can see, they're not powdery at all, which I actually really like. What's wrong, puppy? What's the matter? You need water? What? What happened? The water? Please? So that looks really pretty, like definitely very subtle. Oh my god, I'm burping so much today. Okay, there is the blush. I think it's a really pretty blush. I don't see... Yeah, it looks really pretty. Okay, so let's move on to the highlighter. So I'm gonna do one side with silicone, which is this color right here, and then on the other side we're gonna do Fantasy, and then I guess I will kind of mix them because otherwise I'm gonna look a little crazy with like two different colors. But I'm gonna start off with silicone. This is the first pass, so I'm gonna go in one more time. Okay, so this is the shade Silicone. I do think that it's really pretty, but the highlighters are a little bit more on the powdery side. So I'm going to use an Anastasia highlighter brush for the other side. So I'm going to come in with Fantasy. Yeah, I don't know why the highlighters are like a bit on the powdery side, but okay, let's see. So here is Fantasy. This is really pretty. So Fantasy definitely is like more lilac, pinky highlighter shade. And then Silicone is definitely more of that like gold blinding highlight. But they're both pretty like beaming, to be honest with you. All right, so I'm gonna now just go back with my Anastasia brush and I'm gonna go into Fantasy. See, they're super powdery. Like, can you guys see that? I barely touched the pan and this is how much I got from the highlighter. And as soon as I dipped my brush in it, the powder went like everywhere. So so far that's the only complaint that I have, is that the highlighters are too powdery, just too powdery. All right, so I'm gonna just mix in Fantasy to this. And then I'm gonna add Silicone. Oh my god, they're so powdery, like super powdery. Okay, so I'm gonna add Silicone to this side and just see if I can like blend them a little bit so I don't look like I have two different color highlighters on. They're beautiful and they're definitely like highlighting everything. I mean, look, like my nose looks really pretty, but I just wish they weren't so powdery. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have like powder just sitting on my nose. So I have to blend it in with the brush as I go. So this is pretty much everything on the face. I should put a little bit of lipstick, so I will be right back. So final thoughts on the palette. I think it's a great palette. It is going to be available for purchase on October 7th and it does retail for $45. Do I think $45 is a lot? Yes, I think $45 is definitely on the higher price range. So I do wish that it was more like $35. I think that would have been a good price point, but I do also understand that probably a lot went into the packaging and they priced it at what they needed to price it at least I would hope that they were fair, you know, in pricing the product. Really quickly, I am jumping into this video while I edit because I wanted to do some research and I wanted to compare some other face palettes to this one. So I'm just throwing up some screenshots of some other face palettes that I found on Sephora to show you guys some price comparisons so you guys can see for yourselves. But as far as like the way that it performed, you guys saw it. I think it performed really nicely. I love the contour powders. They were really easy to blend. They were not patchy at all. And I loved how light this one is because it's like a very subtle contour. And I loved the darker one. At first I was scared of it because I thought it was going to be too dark, but as long as you go in with a light hand, you can definitely control the intensity of this color. Remember how I said that I wish they had like an in-between shade? As long as you go in with a light hand with this one, it basically becomes like the in-between shade. And then if you want a little bit darker, if you need a little bit more sculpting, then you can go in a little bit more heavy-handed with it. But I do like the contour powders. I've had a lot of experience with contour powders and face palettes because I love to contour, and I've had issues with other contour powders, other face palettes, where you either like apply the powder and then you go to blend it out and you just cannot blend it. It just kind of just gets, it just sits on your face, and no matter what you do, you can't blend it. And then when you are finally able to blend it, it gets patchy. I've also had contour powders where they are just very, very patchy. The moment that you start blending them, you get like these little like patchy you know, like your skin basically patches. So for me, I was really impressed with these contour powders because I did not have any of those issues. For the blushes, I really liked the matte blush. I think it's a beautiful color. It's buildable. It's really, really pretty. I do like how they gave us both options of the matte one and the shimmer one. I probably won't use the shimmer one because, again, I do have pores that are a little bit on the bigger side, so I probably won't be using it. But I do like how they included both options in the palette. And the highlighters. The highlighters, as you guys can see, are beautiful. They're blinding, beautiful colors. But the only thing that I didn't like about the highlighters is that they are extremely powdery. I did not like that at all. So I do wish the formula was a little bit more on the creamier side and not like so powdery. But other than that, I do like the palette. It's up to you guys if you feel that this is something that you need to pick up or not. As far as the packaging goes, I like it. I think that is very in line with her brand. I was not expecting her next product to be, you know, black and sleek, because her first product launch had a dragon egg. So like, this is just very in line with her brand, and it's what should be expected of her brand. So I don't really have a problem with the packaging. I think it's actually really cool how it's like 3D, and yeah, it's something very different that I've never seen before, and I like it. I do wish that it wasn't cardboard and it was like a hard plastic with a stronger magnetic enclosure, so that I wouldn't have to worry, like if I take it places, are the highlighters gonna like powder all over my purse. But other than that, is it something that you need? I would say if you don't have a face palette, then yes, I think this is a great palette because, you know, it has the contours, the blush, the highlighters. So if you are in need of a face palette, I think this is a great little face palette. Like I said, I think it performed really nicely. If you do have a face palette, you know, you kind of have to make the choice, if do you really need another one. And if you already have contour powders, if you already have blushes, highlighters, and you don't mind grabbing for each product, then you really don't need the palette. But again, totally up to you guys. You saw how it performed, so I leave that choice up to you. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget that you can follow us all over social media, especially on Instagram, where I do post a lot of stuff that you guys will not get to see here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that little bell so that you are notified when I upload videos. And even if you don't subscribe, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. But thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.